Welcome to Stunt Hangar Video Hangouts. Due to some technical difficulties, we don't have the regular login at Stunt Hangar Forum tonight. I emailed a bunch of people, including Sparky, and so hopefully they will start to pile in once they check their email. Unfortunately, I didn't know how to give them a heads up. Let me mute this myself here. Whoops. Anyways, hey, what's up? How you doing, man? I see you in the background. The original Steve Smith from St. Louis is joining us, as well as Sparky. You guys are in Toledo, is that right? Tulsa. All right, fantastic. So did you guys get there today, or did you get there earlier, or what?
Yeah, we got here, I don't know, a couple hours ago.
Oh, well, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. You guys are the first ones in. So hopefully, I know Dennis Adamson is going to make it in for sure. I spoke to him earlier. He's the first one that alerted me that there was a problem with Stunt Hangar. And, speaking of Stunt Hangar, we could definitely use your support. Is there a way they could even donate now, but the hangar, they can't even get in, right?
Nope.
All right. So they have to do it maybe through our super chat here, I guess.
Yeah, it'll work. Let me make an announcement. There is no need to message and email me and call me. I've had 200 calls. I mean, it's ridiculous. I just got off the phone with Randy Smith. I just called it. I know all about it. I'm working on it best I can. I'm out of town. I mean, this shit happens when I'm out. If I'm not there babysitting it, this crap happens, So there's not a whole lot I can do. I got a hacker working on it now to try to get it straightened out.
Fantastic.
Hopefully we can get it back. I'm not sure. I don't know how far gone it is.
Wow.
When I say that we're out of space, I ain't BSing. Well, there's a problem. I alerted you guys a while back, and I freed up 2 gig, and I knew, bang, it'd be gone just like that. And it's gone. So now the database is screwed up. We got a database error, and hopefully we can straighten it out. I have no idea. I have a backup that's probably 6 months old on my computer at home, but until I get there, you guys are just going to have to live without the toy. I used to tell the motorcycle guys, you broke your toy, go play with something else. Well, Stunt Hangar's broken right now. There's not a whole lot I can do. I'm what is it, 300 miles away, 400 miles away. It's on my jump drive. I can't do anything from the hotel here. So I got a hacker trying to take my place. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you, Sparky. I know that's upsetting
frustrating.
and frustrating, So if you've been trying to get into Stunt Hangar, you can't. I might not have your email. I was trying my best, racking my brain, trying to figure out who normally is in the show. And I sent out a bunch of emails, but I don't have everyone's email. So, my phone number. You can text me your email.
Or you could just post a link in chat, and then you'll have to boot out the knuckleheads.
That's a good idea. I mean, and this until I get a good list of everyone, I don't think I have any other alternative really. So I'll do that. Let me go to I need to go to the control panel to do that. How you doing, Dennis? Thanks for coming in. I really appreciate it.
All right. I'm one of Charles' favorites. He sent me the email. So
yes, absolutely. No denying
I
that.
came in on the tail end of your discussion, Sparky. I don't know what the hell you're going through, but all I say is God bless you for trying. And I think this really, brings it home, or should bring it home to a lot of people that what you do means an awful lot to us. And anybody who's there really needs to help contribute to keep this thing going. because you're doing things that that touch an awful lot of people around the world. And
Well,
it,
I didn't
it
get a
costs,
message.
it ain't free. So,
It ain't free. I get a message. We're leaving for Oklahoma. We're on the road. Bang, Stunt Hangar's down. Well, there's so sad, nothing I can do now till I
Mhm.
get to, where we're going. And we just got in, and we just got into the hotel room.
Mhm.
So I, present this out to everybody. And I called Charles and I said, hey man, what are you going on? And I'll make an announcement. I'm doing the best I can. I'm not at home, and we might lose some information, on this merger, but that's just the way it goes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because the backup that I have on the drive at home is, I don't know, 6-8 months ago. I did a complete backup of the whole site. So I don't know. We need some more server space. And see, what you got to understand is when it started, it was $6.95 a month, unlimited. Well, they said, hey, wait a minute, unlimited is way bigger than we thought this guy would get. We got so big that I had to get on a shared server, unlimited. And the shared server was so big that unlimited no longer meant unlimited. So I bought a drive in a box. The server is just like having a computer sitting on the floor at home with a drive in it. Well, I can't remember whether we bought a terabyte or whatever, and that was $300 a month. Well, guess what? We got too big for that now. So we're exponentially doubling. The bigger we get, and the more pictures that are put on it, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It's a huge operation. I'm not Facebook. I'm not Twitter. I don't have the money to support that. So if you guys want to see it go, you got to get that support link in. That's SparkyFL@charter.net is my PayPal account. And you can send me pay me or whatever. I can't remember what you call the darn thing. And this hacker, I got to pay this hacker guy because I'm not there sitting in the computer. I'm getting it up the best I can. And if I can't get it up, it'll be up when I get home, which will be Monday.
Mhm.
And that'll be the longest outage we've ever had.
Mhm.
But for the record that Stunt Hangar has, in the 20 years we've been around, I haven't had but maybe the most 1 day downtime. So that's not bad.
Nope, not at all. You guys keep going. I'm gonna post the link in the chat. So I'm gonna take a chance. And Gary Sinclair is in the chat, and he's our monitor. And Greg Biswick is also a monitor. So you guys help me knock out these trolls that potentially might come in and try to get a laugh or whatever, or a response. So be on guard. I got to shrink down what I have. Just give me a moment here and I'll post it. Gary Sinclair, I have your email, so I will email you the link. Jonathan Carradas, I think I have your email, so I will post that here momentarily. Let me just bear with me here. Okay, let's see if, dang it. Let me try this again. Bear with me.
Mhm.
The chat has
So
a
while Charles is doing that, hey guys, how's you? I take it you're in Tulsa.
Yes. Windy Tulsa. And
Yeah.
it was windy.
I had to laugh a couple of weeks ago. Joe Gilbert, I think it was, mentioned something about how the weather is going to be beautiful, and I just shouted out, "Liar!" So
That's exactly right. Beautiful.
I was teasing them and everything like that. I mean, Tulsa group got a good reputation for putting on a good meet and everything like that. But the old Broadway song doesn't say, "Oh, Oklahoma," where the wind never shows up anywhere on the plane. So
Well, it was windy today.
Yeah. Did you get any
I
flying
did put
done?
up, I did put up one flight on the Viper
Uh-huh.
and I was moving too slow again, 5.7. You didn't turn a needle valve and it was loose. I couldn't tell whether I put it back in the car. I'm not chancing crashing it. I'll
No.
forego flying tomorrow and go for Sunday with the old shoe. And if it
Mhm.
piles it, well, oh well.
How about you, Steve? You got the Vector?
Yeah, I got the Vector and I brought the Blue Angel.
The which again?
Blue
Blue
Angel.
Angel, I could fly in Classic.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's an old Walt Brownell plane that I got from his collection when he was giving them away.
Well, hey, it looks like the other half of the other side of the world is going to be joining us in a moment here. So
That's where the toilet goes backwards.
that's it. That's it. But yeah, I haven't had any. Been busy with this and that, and the other thing, and got a whole bunch of airplanes ready to go out and fly. Basically, I think my contest season is over for the year, and I was just going to go out and mess around and untrimmed airplanes, trim them out that last little bit, and do a couple of what ifs here and there. I got a couple of handles I haven't been happy with. I was going to try some things with, and whatever.
Let me ask Jonathan a question. Jonathan, did you come in through the link I posted in the chat?
Turn on your mic.
Yeah,
Oh, good.
I
So
can
it
hear-
works?
yeah, I just clicked on the link that you put on the chat,
All right, great.
Charles,
Thank you.
and it just came straight through. Well, it took a while.
Fantastic. All right, so we know it works. So anybody who wants to come in, here's your chance. There's a link posted in the chat. It works. We got proof of that. Jonathan Karadas used it and is able to come right in.
And
Yep.
Charles, once you get everybody loaded in here, you can take that link down.
All right,
Go
thank
and
you.
delete that link.
All right, thank you. All righty, and let me just catch up on the chat box. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. That says, yo.
Yo.
And Daniel Berry Sports Highlights says, happy Friday. Absolutely. And Gary Sinclair, who's one of our monitors, and he's also a member of our YouTube channel. He provides with a like. Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. And Terry Mitchell, who usually has really good questions. He says, like sent, great to see you, Charles. Let everyone know that I said last show I bought glow plugs from Amen Hobbies. It was actually Radical RC, and at $4 a plug for fireballs. That's a good price. And then Jonathan Karadas, who's also a member of our YouTube channel, he says, yeah, it's telling me I have a problem. And then Steve Barry, who's a member of our YouTube channel, he says, I was wondering what had happened.
A delayed playback.
Basically said, evening, Sparky. And then Marcel Legrand says, hi, Charles, and everyone at Stunt School. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And then Greg Biswick, who is also a member of our YouTube channel and a monitor, he says, you can still get into Stunt Hangar, and the support 23 button at the top still works. So also the messages section still works. So if you go to the support 23 button, we greatly appreciate it. That way the funds will be quickly available to Sparky to remedy this situation. We need a bigger server. We've outgrown. The last server was storage was at 3 gigs. I mean, 3 terabytes. Is that right, Sparky?
1 terabyte.
1 terabyte.
Yeah.
So help us
That's big.
purchase a larger.
Terabyte is huge.
So please donate, support us. Go to stunthanger.com/SMF. Go to the support 23 button and please support us. And let me welcome Stuart. You know, I could not find your email address. I know I sent you the email to send you money for the Snoopy pilot, but it's not on my. I couldn't find it, but we have to rectify that. And then I saw Tryon momentarily. I'll get back to it in a minute. Hey, Tryon, thanks for coming in.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. I was trying to remember everybody in the gallery. I need to make a list, and I'm so glad you was able to come in. You found us. And then Lynn Burrell, I emailed you. You get the email, or did you come
Yes,
in
you
through
did.
did you come in through the link here?
No, I came in through the link. I didn't get the email.
Okay.
It's all good.
All right, cool. Well, hopefully you check your email. I'm just wondering if I have the right email.
Well, it might have gone to my spam or something like that. It wasn't in my regular email, but it's all good. We're in.
All right, cool. So
One
no
more
worries.
time, guys. One more time, because everybody's in here. I don't know that I don't know who I got messages from, because I got 200 of them. Do not, when the forum crashes or goes down, there is no need to message me. I'm well aware of what's going on. I don't care what it says or whatever. I got even Randy Smith calling me. He just called to let you know. Yeah, I've known since this morning, but there's nothing I can do, and all it does is aggravate me. So and I'm not yelling at you guys, but trust me, it's been so. How many calls did we get, Steve? I mean,
I wouldn't count. I don't know.
a lot.
More than I could count.
Too many.
Well, wait a minute. You're a
Still
stunt
right.
judge. You count a lot. If he couldn't count it, that's a lot of phone calls. So. what the
Phone
heck?
calls, messages,
Yeah.
PMs, messages on my phone. Started this morning with Dan McAtee. Just
Well, hey,
Oh,
I'm proud of
yeah.
myself then, as I saw what was going on, and I said, the last thing in the world I'm gonna do is dump on Sparky right now. He's got enough on his plate. And I talked to Larry Fruits. He says, the last thing I'm gonna do is dump on Sparky, because I know he's got enough on his plate. And
Yeah.
talked to
Felt the
John
same way.
Paris, the last thing I'm gonna do, et cetera. So, yeah, that's it. I know that you're aware of it, and your record, your service record on this is spectacular. You know, the few
I
outages or
just
whatever
hope
we've
that
had
we can
before is
salvage
usually
it and bring it
minutes,
all
you
back.
know? Yeah,
I hope we can salvage it and bring it all back. If not, we're gonna lose some. It's the only way it goes, and it might be till Monday before I get it back up.
okay.
All good. We know you're doing what
Maybe-
you can do.
Maybe it's time for a Stunt Hangar facelift anyway.
Facelift.
Yeah, it's looked like this for 20 years. Maybe we need to change it.
I don't know. It looks good. I mean, it's kind of like a brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, I like it the way it is.
Yeah.
I like it in any form we can get it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's true. That's true. We just need to get a bigger server. I mean, a bigger storage. That's what we need to do.
yeah, I gotta have more storage, and it's gonna be another 100 extra per month, so that's 400 a month.
Oh, my goodness.
It's just like having an apartment you don't live in.
Right.
Okay, so, forgive me if I'm putting words in your mouth. Are you saying that you basically need $400 a month donated from everybody, just basically for your basic operation? Is that
Yeah, not
accurate?
for everybody, but if there's
I mean, a
4,000
collective 400 a month. Yeah.
Right. I'm not working any longer, so I can't foot the bill. So I don't sell anything, so I gotta have some kind of income coming in every month to pay that bill. And my credit card's loading up, and it's not gonna go on forever. I mean, I do have some good donors that have donated. I don't expect the same guys to keep donating the same thing over and over. If everybody just paid $10 a month, if everybody paid $10 a month, no big deal.
You're laughing. Yeah, you'd be laughing. Exactly.
Right.
The,
Mhm.
I'm not even sure, how many, have you charted how many members you have now?
Over 4,000.
Okay, so we're talking, I mean, the numbers are ridiculous then, that's like 10
Right.
cents a month. Come
Yeah,
on, people.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, you're right. One guy will donate $25, and then I won't see any $25 in a week, and then I won't see anything for 2 weeks, and then another guy will donate $50, but it's always those same two guys. It's the
Yeah.
same people carrying the load, and I don't expect that.
Yeah.
If everybody just split it up, and maybe I ought to charge for the site.
All right.
You want to see it, $5 a month, whatever.
Let me ask you a really dumb question. I belong to the YouTube channel. I'm making $5 a month, charge there. How much of that do you see? Do you see 5?
No. I believe I get 40% on.
Really? So my $5 a month, you're getting $2.
No, 3, 4. Wait a minute. They get 40%. Yeah, they get $2. I get $3. And that's very important. Don't think that it's not important. See, basically we are an employee of YouTube, and if I'm not bringing them any money, they'll just wipe everything off of YouTube. The ad revenue that YouTube is a business. So I'm basically an employee of theirs. You know what I'm saying? If it's not valuable for them to keep, okay. Let's put it this way. You notice that you go to some YouTube channels, and all of them have ads. Well, some of those ads are not AdSense ads; those are YouTube ads. So if I didn't place ads on my channel, YouTube would keep all the money. That's their business. YouTube. This is their business, not ours.
Right.
We're just,
Yeah,
just
and the more traffic you get, the more ad space that they allot, and
they
things
can
like
sell.
that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They can sell so that they keep us around. And if we don't get the engagement and the ad revenue, they're not going to keep us around. They just say, well, these guys ain't doing this shit. We don't need them. Goodbye. And that's how it works. I mean, if you go into the creator studio and read exactly what's going on, that's how it works. They're looking for money from ad revenue off all the channels, and that's how they make their money. Nothing is free. When you're on Facebook, you are the product. Believe it or not, they're selling your information.
Well, they sure are. That's why I'm not on Facebook anymore. So.
I'm not on.
Me neither.
That's a CIA lifelog operation. Their Facebook is dead as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Let me interrupt. I got some chats in the chat box here. Greg Biswick, he says, oh, hang on, I gotta go up above him. He says, this is Steve Barry, excuse me. He's a member of our YouTube channel. He says, would rather lose 6 months of it than the whole thing. We can't let it go the way of Stuka Stunt. Very good point. Stuka Stunt no longer around. And then Greg Biswick says, he's also a member of our YouTube channel. He says, Sparky, our toilets go the right way. Yours goes backwards. It's all a matter of perspective. And then Dennis Adamson said, like delivered. And then Greg Biswick says there are about 350 regular ongoing users per month on Stunt Hangar. So you have a total of 4,000, I guess, members, but ongoing per month users, we have about 350. So even if those ongoing users who use it, who consume Stunt Hangar, I mean, if they just get a little bit out of those 350, it'd be no problem. Just do a little bit.
That sounds like that's pretty close to 400. I mean, that's like $1 a month from everybody is all of a sudden, we're not having this conversation. So
well, see, then you got to realize PayPal takes their cut.
Yeah.
So I don't get all that. I mean, this is all a scam. Everybody's scamming everybody. I don't get to keep all that. It's PayPal takes their cut.
And the only money you get is the money people give you directly. Otherwise, they take a chunk of everybody.
When you hand it in my hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Otherwise, everybody's got their hand out for their cut for doing nothing.
Well, you guys, we're gonna stop griping, right? We're gonna go into having some fun. And thank you for coming in, Jim Hoffman. Appreciate it. Did you come in through the link I posted in the chat box or the email I sent you?
And we're out of here. We're gonna watch Midway and go to sleep.
All right, man. Good
All
night. You
right.
guys, good luck tomorrow.
All right, Sparky. Good
Oh, by
luck.
the way, guys, not to mess it up for you, but our side wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
All righty.
ya.
So see you,
All right.
Sparky. Thanks for. So anyways, I didn't get a chance to ask Jonathan Karadas. He was the first one in or second one in behind Sparky. And actually behind Dennis, but let me start with you, Jonathan. So what you been doing, Jonathan? You've been doing any flying? You've been doing any building? How's your hurricane coming?
No, just a bit of building the hurricane tail. I've got it here. I'll show it to you in a minute. But
Okay.
I just wanted to say, when I was coming in on on you guys, I got multiple. I think you asked me a question, and I couldn't quite follow the conversation because I had multiple audios running here. There were about
and it was looping.
conversations going at once. Yeah, it was repeating.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out if you came in through the link I posted in the chat box here or the email.
Yeah, well, I came in through the link on the side. But anyway, something went awry, but I've sorted it now. But no, last week it blew like hell. And one or two of the guys went and did other stuff, hunting and some other stuff. So I didn't end up flying at all. But look, I'll just, if I put the light up, you'll see behind the wing, you'll sort of get an appreciation of what I've done. Hang on a second.
All right.
Um,
And while you're doing that, Jonathan, Jim, Stunt Hangar's down, right? That's why I emailed you, Jim. You understand that?
I was having trouble with Stunt Hangar, so I did get your email, Charles, and I used that link to come in. It was actually pretty snappy.
Great, fantastic.
So when
Good.
you have some time, I've got a few photos to share.
Oh, great. Thank you very much. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Right. Well, this is, as I say, don't look at the symmetrics because it's not symmetrical, because I started off just by boring holes where I could,
Right.
but that's the doctor's paper.
Okay, great.
Need the torch, actually. I've got
Oh,
the
center section.
It's as I say, that's the doctor's paper, and it's turned out pretty good. I'm very pleased with it.
This is your first time using doctor's paper?
Hey?
Your first time using doctor's paper?
Yeah.
I have some, but I haven't even used it yet. So you're ahead of me. That's great. That's good feedback.
So next time you go to the doctor, Dennis, make sure you grab the paper.
Jonathan,
Next time I'm gonna grab the paper before he makes me use it, all right? So,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna expand on that, so.
I can always send you mine over.
So
That's
what's that spot? Yeah. Oh, man, that's a hurricane.
That looks good.
It's been shot up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that gets rid of weight. I remember quite a raging debate on Stunt Hangar a year or so ago about drilling holes in some of this timber we get down here. And some of the purists were saying, "Oh no, you never drill holes and stuff. You always build the model light in the first place." Well, that's okay if you can get light stuff. Otherwise, you got to do that. You see, I reduced the weight of that by half. This is still just over 2 ounces.
That's pretty good.
Got to put the paint and the hardware on it, the wire and the bell crank, but it'll come out under 3 ounces, I reckon, or close to. So I'll be happy with that. So holes do work if you put them in the right place.
Yeah. Now, Jonathan, I know that you mentioned this last time, but just from our audience, how did you make these lightning holes?
Well, that's a bit of an adventure in itself. You've got to be careful. You can drill. I find I just use a metal drill. It'd be nice to get a little wood drill that would be that small, would cut halfway through. But I use a metal drill, go halfway through, flip it over, and then go through the other side. And the metal drill's smaller, than the grinder. I use a little grinding ball, and I'll put it in the Dremel and then just go through the hole and clean it out and shape it. Some of them, they're shaped out here where I've sort of followed where I couldn't, cleaned out as much timber as I could that's not needed for strength. I put a double spar in here, like Sparky suggested, on the leading and trailing edge. In there, there's a spar in there just to give it strength. Goes right through up to here. On the back here, goes right through, and the front it goes to about here through both sides. So
Awesome.
it's light and rigid as hell. So yeah, I'm happy with it. Yeah, but drilling holes, you got to be careful because you can just blow the whole lot to bits.
Yeah. Now I've used a brass tubing, different sizes, and take an X-Acto blade and sharpen the inside of it, put an edge on it, and I can then just turn it on top of the wood and just actually make a punch. Kind of just you go through the wood that way with the pipes.
Yeah, I'd say that'll work with normal balsa wood, but man, this stuff is like armor plate. You would just smash the wood to pieces trying to drive a sharpened tube through it. It just wouldn't work.
Okay.
I mean, it's really hard.
Okay.
I don't know what it would be, but I weighed the sheets, but some of the 3-inch stuff that I was using here, which was I'm trying to think now. It wasn't much more than an 1/8 in millimeters, about 1.82 millimeters, because I've laminated this, built the thickness up with various, some medium grade and lighter stuff to try and space my wood out. But I've lost the track of what I was trying to say. No, never mind. It'll come back to me later. But no, you'd never get a drill through it. You'd never get a punch through it. You'd have to put a drill through it. It's heavy stuff.
All right, cool. I was just curious.
John, I've seen some very nice examples of covering with doctor's paper, but I've been told by some pretty skilled modelers that it doesn't do well in humidity. It'll sag when subjected to a humid condition. So be aware.
Well, that's no good. We get high humidity here in Auckland in the summer. We get a lot of humidity. So we get up in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, no problem. So it'll be interesting. I'll report back and see how she goes, see how she fares.
Let me make an announcement. I see Philip Bailey in the chat box. Hey, Philip, just above you, there is a link posted there. You can come in through there. Anybody can come in. We'd like you to come in. Please come in, everybody. But that's how you get in. And I didn't have everyone's name on top of my head. I just kind of was just trying to think of who is in the show normally, and I emailed everybody I could think of, but I was under a time gun too. I didn't want to keep doing it until I got everybody, and then the show be over. So I cut it off at about 5 minutes till 7, and I figured I was late enough, so I just started the show live. But you're welcome. Come on in, you guys. And let me see here. Then I was going to let Dennis get us caught up on what's going on with him. I think you had something you could share with us. We talked about it.
Yeah, maybe I haven't really been doing any modeling in terms of flying or anything like that, but I have been working on something else. It'll take me a minute to open it up here, so bear with me.
Sure.
Why don't you go on to somebody else while I open
All
this
right.
up?
Well, we have 24 concurrent viewers and we have 15 likes. So please, if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. It won't cost you anything to do that. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to do that as well. And then also, please consider joining Stunt Hangar YouTube channel memberships. It starts at $4.99. That's the lowest tier, but there's 2 tiers above that if you want to donate to really help us out. So please consider doing that, and appreciate your support. So let me see here. I think after Dennis came in, it might have been Tryan. So Tryan, What you up to, man? You been doing any flying? You been helping your Padawan out more, or what's been going on with you?
Well, I didn't do any flying since last Saturday, and I haven't met with him since. But all I've done, I just bought some. I'm trying to get this vector up and running, and one of the things I worked on was the trim tab adjustability, and maybe this is something you might like as a as a system. This is what I have right now.
Okay. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a combat ship. That's kind of neat.
So what it is basically it's a I put a hole through a screw, and as I tighten up the nut, the wire is being pressed against the this little plate that's
Yeah, I like that.
building, right?
Yeah, I like that.
So it has infinite adjustability, and since I gave Sava my wheels, I bought some new wheels for the plane.
All right.
I couldn't fly if I wanted to because I have no wheels for it. I had some issues with the batteries in flight, so I don't know what the issues are exactly. I'm sporting a Fioroti timer, and in this
Dang, it
plane,
isn't so.
so I'm using a Fioroti timer with the Castle Creation ESC, but for some reason I don't get the type of response and on the motor that I'm expecting. So I'm not sure maybe it's the batteries was so bad that it wouldn't give up the juice to for the motor to get the job done, or maybe I have some settings that are wrong. Things to be reviewed in the near future. And just another thing that I've done, I did break the this connection in two because I couldn't set up my ESC, so I had to make like a plug to it. So actually, this
Okay.
goes to this is from the timer, and this is from the ESC, which lives right in here.
All right. Very cool.
Brian, what do you do for a rudder? Have you got an adjustable rudder?
No, I
You got
just
a-
put a,
Is it set offset?
it has a little bit of offset, just tiny. You can
Okay.
see that.
How much?
Just a little bit, about a few degrees. You see that?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, a couple
5, 6,
degrees.
7 degrees maybe? No, 5.
Yeah, it has
Oh,
a
yeah.
tiny
Of an
bit, yeah.
inch or so.
And is your motor offset as well or not?
Yes, has a little bit of offset.
How much?
About 3 degrees.
Okay.
So it's not much, But yeah, I'll have to fly it and see what it does. That's
Yeah.
the only. Is you have to go out, fly it, and check it out, see what it does. And one of my problems it was uneven, it was kind of loose on one side and tighter on the other side. So, and then I said,
I'm a
well,
bit like that.
yeah, I did forget to lock in my trim tab with some tape on it, so it was just sitting wherever it was sitting.
Yeah.
You get excited
small.
about the first flight, and you go out and fly, and you rush straight and stuff like that, and you can lose and forget details like that. Like,
Yes.
did I put tape on my did I lock in my trim tape so it doesn't move in flight or something like that, or might not be in a bad position for the matter.
Yeah.
So.
You want
So
to
then
pre-take
after
off?
that, I remember and I said, oh, oops.
You need a pre-takeoff checklist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's that. But yeah, for most part, I'm pretty happy with the layout. You can see here, like I have a nice
Lovely
visiting cap. I can take the screws off, flip flop my landing gear around. I have a direct access to my timer to move it a little bit down, a little bit up if I have to. I have this connection here. This is actually a free wire that kind of hangs around. but this is actually my programming wire for the Fiori timer. So anytime I need to change program the Fiori timer, I just connect to here. If I have to program my ESC, I just connect here. So long story short, I think this removable cap over here, over this whole thing, open up some things that you know, they were nice. Another thing I have here, obviously, this is magnetic for
Yeah.
yep. And but what I found out is that maybe I should have given me more space here for this Velcros, because the battery is so tall, you know, it's kind of tough to get to them and put them inside there.
Yeah.
This is the biggest complaint I have about this whole setup. Maybe if I have like a maybe put a tab in here so I can insert my battery towards the back, and that tab is going to hold the battery vertical and stop it from moving back and forth. And maybe in the front, like some simple stuff like a single screw or something like that that I can put in there. I think would be much easier insertion for the battery. Just like a L-shaped thing, you know, just to have that L shape that holds the battery in place, and maybe like some kind of a screw in here.
At least you don't have changing C of G, because your battery doesn't lose mass as it runs out, like our tanks.
Yeah, no, that's one. You know, electrical has a lot of advantages. You know, besides the bulletproof reliability, right? You can call it like as an advantage as an IC, because if you lose the fuel, it gets lighter and lighter. But probably my plane with a battery in it is as light as a empty fuel tank plane right now. But because the CG never changes in a flight and the motor run never changes in a flight, then your trim is predictable. As you have a dynamic CG, because you're using fuel, and the CG creeps backwards all of the time, you have to find a compromise in your setup somewhere, right? And sometimes the compromise is between the motor run as well as the setup. So as the fuel runs down, your motor might run a little bit quicker, but then at the time you do your hourglass or something like that, then your setup has to be dialed in for that moment in time, right? Because maybe the same setup, if you try to do an hourglass at the beginning of flight, might be different, right? So because
I guess with electric you can nail all those moving parts, you can nail those variables to a certain number, whereas it's harder with, you know, gas. It's
I'm just happy that I don't have to boil my fuel tank. So
I mean, just like
man, I copped some shit over there. I mean, excuse me, some crap over that.
I don't think anybody really comprehended what you were trying to get across. I think when you were talking about it here, it actually took a little bit of time, that you were talking about pressure testing a fuel tank. Everybody thought you were trying to boil all the bad stuff out of it. Well, that really wasn't what you were trying to do. So
no, initially, yes, when you make the tank, I think you've got to, you know, get all the crap out. Otherwise, you're going to have future problems. But no, that's right. It's a matter of pressure. If it won't test, pressure test, I won't trust it. It'll leak. It'll leak.
Yeah. So what I did just now, as I was watching the video and stuff like that, I just reprogrammed the Castle ESC. Maybe Dennis, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I put in airplane mode, the governor high at the max. I changed the brake to hard 100%. The voltage per cell safety, I put at 3.5 volts. Maybe I should go higher. I'm not sure what my battery consumption is, but I'm at 3.5 per cell automatic. And it's a soft shutdown if it's too low.
Yeah. On the brake, there's a couple of things you can do. I like setting, there's a delay setting in there. You can delay it for up to 1 second before it starts to apply. I think that's a good idea to let it coast just a little bit. And then on the brake, you can get 100% braking, but you can set it so it either comes on very hard, very fast, or you can set it so it kind of ramps up to that. So I usually put it on like a medium ramp up. I don't want to slam it. I don't like things slamming around too much. That's all.
Yeah. Well,
So
what I had,
I want the prop to stop, and it will with 100% brake, but it'll coast down like
Mhm.
a glow engine does, you know?
So this is what I have to say about the brake. And this is from what I know. You might be, you can be right on this motor setup combination. But on a Prowler, what I did is I put like a softer brake, and the motor would stop and it keeps spooling. It would not really brake and come to a complete stop for the landing.
Hang on a second, you guys. I guess Sparky has something urgent to share with us.
Stunt Hangar is back.
Perfect.
Hey, congratulations, Sparky. That's awesome.
So what have you
Okay.
done for me lately?
Yeah, right. Yeah, sure. Hey, Joe.
All right, well, I will post the link in Stunt Hangar. Let me just give me a moment, Greg. I mean, everybody who's trying to get in. Just a second, I'll be right with you. Let me see here. Go ahead and continue on. There was I had a question though. We're talking about electronics. Today was the first time I noticed this. When I plugged in my arming switch, it was like I had a poor connection. Like the so I don't know if see ya, Sparky. I don't know if I need to go in there with some sort of electronic spray cleaner or actually physically try to get in there. It's where the arming switch plugs in. I have the arming switch is like kind of like a Dean's connector kind of a thing. The one that you can get from MPI, that arming switch. The one I have, the one that doesn't have the that doesn't stop. I don't have the one that eliminates the spark. It's the basic arming switch. So anyways,
And why did you
welcome.
think you weren't? Why did you think you weren't getting a good connection?
Because I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't hear the music. It didn't do anything. It just like as if
that's no connection at all. Then look
Then I
for
pulled it
something
off,
else. Make sure
then
the
I put it
battery's
back in,
good and all.
and
Yeah.
it worked. So it was intermittent, which really is kind of disconcerting to think that
Well, I agree. That's
during
the
a
worst
flight,
of
it
all.
maybe just loses connectivity.
All right.
There's a little plug in it.
That's
Bullet.
it.
Yeah, Lynn.
Bulletproof, Charles, bulletproof.
That's it. Hey,
Hey,
is that Kilroy Joe down in Tulsa there?
Yes, and John Blanchard.
Yeah, that's
Pretty
it. I
big
can only
here.
see you from your nose up. So
I know, I can't get my chair that high.
Should be
that's it.
Hey, there you are. Hey,
All
John
right.
and Joe, thank you for coming in, you guys. Appreciate it.
Good to see y'all.
Good to see
Yeah,
you.
who
too.
else is there? I'm sorry, I don't recognize you.
John Blanchard from Louisiana.
Terrific. Welcome
Hey, John.
aboard, John.
How y'all doing? Hoffman Nation.
So how's the meet looking? How's the Tulsa meet looking, Joe? You're going to have a good turnout, you think?
No. It's gonna be a turnout. The wind's gonna blow what, 14 to 16 tomorrow. It was blowing today. We flew some today though, but it blew.
Mhm.
Sunday will be great, looks like. 4 to 5 or 6.
All right.
Beauty.
We'll just
I
see
believe
what
one of
happens.
I believe one of your entries went missing. The F-35 entry went missing somewhere.
What? I don't understand. We just got people that didn't come because it's windy and rainy, I guess.
Didn't you guys lose an F-35 somewhere?
Oh,
An F-35,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think, wasn't it? Virginia. It's Virginia.
yeah.
There's more to
lost
that
it.
story than they're telling y'all.
Thought it might have been coming down to fly in your comp.
Mm.
I think there's more to that story than what they're letting on.
I think so.
They didn't lose that airplane at all. They knew where it was. They was looking for something else, the reason for something.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Same place as the balloon disappeared. Weird.
I agree.
Hey, Joe.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of high winds, how high was the wind a couple of years back at the Nats that day it really blew? How high was it?
20 or better.
20 or better, okay. Just so I know. That's
think
miles an
I'm per-
hour?
Yes. When I was
Okay.
flying, there's a guy named David Short. David Laney
David
Shorts.
Short, yeah, I
David-
was
Any
videotaping.
shorts, okay,
He
yeah.
would video it and he would tell you what the wind blew during the maneuvers. And I think
Okay.
in one of my maneuvers, it was 26 miles an hour.
Oh, God.
Wow.
All right.
You are
Wow.
the man, though.
The other boys beat me. I got beat by world champions. Y'all get over it.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
guess,
Oh, yeah.
You'd just
I
be
guess-
flying in half a circle, wouldn't you?
now I just posted the link at the bench. I'm going to leave the link in the chat box there as well until I start having problems, and I'll have to delete it. So the one that's in the chat box is there just temporary. Haven't had any problems. So let me see here. So we're back to the gallery view, and I think the next person that came in, I think it was Stuart. Hey, Stuart, so you've been doing any flying or working on any airplanes? What you been up to?
Yeah, we went out today. It was really nice, and I did 4 flights on the Pathfinder and went pretty good. So haven't done too much on my airplane, but my twister, but it'll get there. We lost Charles.
Sorta. He's probably doing some background stuff there, but any rate,
I'm
he'll be
back.
back.
There
There
he
he
is.
is. He's
He's
back.
back.
He's back.
I'm back. So you begin to really like that Pathfinder, I guess, huh?
Yeah, actually, I'm really starting to get into the pattern now. So it's been
Flying
kind of
really good.
so.
It's flying good and he's flying pretty good too.
Oh, that's great. That's really
Wow.
good.
Yeah, I'm
When he
enjoying.
flies the pattern now, all his maneuvers are recognizable quite nicely.
Oh,
It's looking
good.
good.
That's a really good sign.
That must be a step up. So,
That's
Motor have you got in it, Stuart?
sorry, what's that?
What engine have you got in your Pathfinder?
LA-46.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
good match. Yeah, they go good, eh?
running good too, so that helps.
Sorry?
I said it's been running good, so that helps. It's
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah, it
I'm
does.
enjoying it a lot more because I'm not crashing as much. So I hope I can keep it that way. So it's more fun. I'm starting to work on the maneuvers more. So
Yeah,
that helps.
yeah.
A lot more fun.
Just remember, I'm only gonna help you till you beat me. Once you beat me, you're done. You're on your own.
I think that'll be a
Don't tell
long
you any more
that'll never happen.
No more lessons.
More lessons. That's it.
so,
Like you fly pretty good, man.
what was that, Tryon?
I said Lenny flies pretty good. I saw
Yeah, I
his
know he's
flight
got-
at Rodex in a video a while ago.
Yeah, he's collected quite a bit of awards and recognition. Yeah, he's a good flyer. I wish I would have.
We'll
had a chance.
determine next week. We'll determine next week how well I fly after the trials. I'll let you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's going to be a really good test.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident in you, Len. You're going to do great. Looking forward to
I
that.
got the new bird's flying real well. It's all ready to go. It's all polished up and ready to head for winter peg.
He's
Is that
starting
what
to
you're going to
calm-
fly then? You're going to fly the new
I'm gonna
airplane?
take the new one. Yeah,
He's
take the
starting to
new
calm
airplane.
down. He's starting to calm down just a little bit, one notch. He's pretty hyper this week.
Is Naomi still flying, Len?
Not as much. She's been too busy helping us.
Uh,
She spends all her time timing flights, timing laps, critiquing people. Oh yeah, she spends more time in a lawn chair than she does in the circle this year.
Ah, well, somebody's got to do it.
She's been a good help.
Yeah.
So Dennis,
Yeah,
did you ever,
you don't realize how important those people are until they're gone.
right? Hey Dennis,
Yeah.
did you happen to find what you're looking for?
I did. So let me get to the share screen here.
And then Jim, I'll get to you next, Jim Hoffman.
Okay. And actually, Jim is one of the people who's commented on this. We've had some discussions here. I've mentioned that I was working on something for the modern pattern for people who have vertigo issues and trying to find maneuvers to replace the vertical and overhead maneuvers, right? And we got something going with that with Mark Wise has taken that on, and he's seen it. We're getting some nice reviews on it and stuff like that. But of course, the silliness is that we did that for the modern pattern, but the vertigo issue affects all of us, and especially probably more so affects the people who are flying old time stunt, because the old time stunt flyers tend to be some of our older flyers and stuff like that. So this week I put out something just basically, this is just basically a mark on the wall, see what would stick. I put out something for the old time stunt pattern. And the goal there is to try, the old time pattern has 3 vertigo inducing maneuvers: the wing overhead, which goes overhead. The vertical 8 is a tough one because especially with an old time airplane, a lot of them, you end up going behind your head a little bit. So it becomes a real challenge. And of course the overhead 8. And if you have vertigo, all 3 of those will wipe you out. So I come up with 3 maneuvers. These I didn't come up with them. It was a joint effort between Mark Gerber and Keith Trossel and myself. Keith actually found an article, of course, from the early 1950s with maneuvers that were suggested to add to the AMA pattern, but they're maneuvers that were basically suggested like 1953, I think it was. They were essentially old time era maneuvers, or with that kind of thinking, the airplanes they were flying and stuff. So there was a lot of round maneuvers. So with that, let me go through the 3 maneuvers I'm suggesting that we add to the old time pattern here, or replace in the old time pattern. Okay, the first vertigo maneuver we have is the wing over. It's not a reverse wing over. It's just straight over the top and everything like that. It's a pretty simple maneuver. This here is something I just call a derby. It kind of looks like a derby hat, and it's just basically a smooth climb into a half loop and back down. So control motions and stuff like that are not too terribly unlike a regular wing over and everything like that. The goal, as with the entire old time pattern, is to get it no higher than 60 degrees and stuff. And it's a very quick maneuver, so you have to really be on top of it. The good news is that it won't, you're not going to put your airplane at risk or anything like that. And the tough news is that it's going to be just doing it precisely, I think, is going to be enough of a challenge that anybody who flies this isn't going to be thinking they're flying a simplified pattern. They're thinking, they're going to know that they're working to do this.
That's pretty challenging, Dennis, because it's like you have, if you look at it, you have the double transition of inside loop to outside loop. Or
well, the
from
transitions
the
have to
the
be
inside loop, which is like
instantaneous. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you
to
have
do
to really jump on top of it.
Yeah, you can do something that looks like the climb pretty easily, but to do this in a precise manner, there's like you say, there's some challenging points there, making all
It
the
takes
radiuses
technique.
the same as
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Okay, the next one, and this is really in a lot of old time patterns. It's called spectacles. And it's an inside loop on either side with a half loop in between it. And that's basically you fly it the way you fly it. Fly this loop over the top, down, and then this loop, and then recover. So you start and end in level flight. And again, the challenge with this is that if you're going to do it 60 degrees tall, that means each of these loops is also 60 degrees wide, which means this maneuver could take 1/2 of the circle.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I think it's going to take more
even
than
if you
that,
do it at
Dennis.
40, even if you do it with 45 degrees loops, it's a fairly wide maneuver. And of course, so that's going to, it means it's probably going to be pretty hard to plant your feet and fly it. You're probably going to have to move with it a little bit, or else you're going to be offline, too far on either side. But the other thing is that in the wind, this might become a real challenge because
Yeah.
you're going to be flying, basically crosswind at either extreme. But again,
Dennis,
it's a round loop maneuver that should be capable of, 1950, old time era designs and stuff. And again, there's a lot of places to add precision or, deliver precision elements, or if you don't, you'll be giving points away. So
Dennis, you're having more than 120 degrees sweep on this maneuver.
exactly if you do it
190.
60 degrees tall, it's 60 and another 60 and another 60. So it's 180 degrees wide.
Yeah.
It's a full half
Yes.
circle.
Circle. And if the wind's blowing that right side, you'll end up cutting that and you'll be in the middle of the circle before you ever pull up. It's
Yeah.
gonna take an airplane to do that in the wind.
It's going to be a challenge. And of course, even if you do it with 45-degree loops, it's still going to be, 90, 135 degrees wide. It's still going to be a fairly wide maneuver. And what Joe is saying is still going to apply. You're going to be at the edges of the maneuver. You're going to have your homework as far as, keep holding a line against a crosswind and stuff. Okay, and then finally, now this one would replace the vertical 8, and then to replace the overhead 8,
Oh,
do a
mirror me.
3-leaf clover.
Oh, very
If you
good.
take a look at a lot of old airplane kits and a lot of old articles and stuff,
Oh.
the 3-leaf clovers seem to be all the rage. Everybody had a diagram for a 3-leaf clover. And this is one that came out of Keith's illustration. This is actually 3 outside loops. All right. And this one gets a little bit a little tough because the center loop is it's pretty hard to fly. You can fly it at 60 degrees, but all of these loops then have to be like 35-degree loops, which is for an old time airplane, that's going to be a handful. I think there's a couple that'll do it, but there's a lot more that won't. But the key with this one, and this may be the most dangerous, if you will, it started at level flight and climb, and then you got to dive into this loop. And of course, if you don't allow yourself enough room here, you're toast.
Terrible.
Yeah. Now, once you get through that one shouldn't be too bad. And that one shouldn't be too bad. And then back to level flight. But again, this is going to be a challenge to do it precisely and to do it so it looks right. Now, one thing we've done here, if you're counting, the spectacles maneuver had added 2 inside loops. All right. This one is 3 outside loops. But the maneuver right after this, we would retain the current square, old time square loop, which is actually a rectangle. Bottom line is, if you fly this modified pattern, when you finish the pattern, your lines are unwound. Okay.
All right.
Which is, I think, kind of a nice little, that and $10 will buy you a Starbucks someplace, I guess. But just the idea that, the pattern, I think, is balanced that way. So with inside and outside turns. So again, this is predicated on trying to deliver a pattern that is still challenging enough for people to want to fly it, and maybe help people deal with their vertigo issues and stuff. And it won't hit them as hard or anything like that. And it will be something that you look at this, you look at the placings of this, and you're going to say, yeah, so and so did a good job, or didn't do it a good job, and because of that. So anyhow, the rest of the event, if you would be, working title on it is OTS 60. But the idea would be, all the old time rules would apply as far as airplanes and everything like that, but you would just get rid of those overhead and vertical maneuvers and replace them with these maneuvers that are essentially horizontal maneuvers. So anyhow, I started sending this out around to a few people. Sent it to Jim, of course, and Mark Gerber and Mark Wise and Keith Trossel and Jim Lee, who's one of the old time stalwarts and stuff. Looking for their feedback and looking if want to see if we got an idea that's got legs. All right.
Yeah.
So
Loop 2 is at 90 degrees, so straight over your head, right?
No,
Well, 90
75.
degrees,
No,
that's just a
76.
mark. If you don't have to go that high, but it's awfully hard to do it at 60. So it's gonna have to go up at least 7, even if you do it with 45-degree loops, it's gonna go up to 77 degrees just for that instant at the top center. It may be
No,
what crunches is, but,
the 75 mathematically works out about right, looks like to me.
yeah.
Hey,
And,
Dennis, did you find us
when
yet?
when Mark drew these,
Right.
he said it was 76.8 degrees, which is
There you go.
that's a little tough to see. So,
If Mark said so, I believe him.
yeah. And somebody I think was asking if I've flown these yet, and the answer is not yet. So
Okay, just curious.
I've flown them from the easy chair here. And this is,
That worked.
I've tried 3-leaf clovers before, and I could never get the hang of it. There's a couple of different, I was always trying to do insides and outsides and, do an outside loop and an inside loop and come around on another inside or something. I could never get a continuous flow to it. And this one designed with, well, of course, without a lot of, imagination, you could probably turn this into 3 inside loops to do it too. But doing this with 3 outside loops like that, in a way, is kind of an enabler in a lot of ways, because you can really see what's going on. So, and the fact that even though it's 3 loops, it's not going to add, it's not going to add a lot of twists to the lines or anything like that that'll make the airplane difficult to fly or anything. So. I
Those
don't know.
maneuvers
He does?
aren't those aren't gimme easy maneuvers.
Mhm.
No,
No, there's still challenge.
yeah. I'm frightened of the
Hey, Dennis?
3 loops.
Yeah.
Clover.
There's plenty of scope in there for, people that have trouble with vertigo and what have you,
Yeah.
like me at the moment. But there's plenty of scope there for aiming for perfection as well, because at first glance you go, oh yeah, that'd be pretty easy. Yeah, no.
Until you
To get
try
it
it.
perfect,
There's nothing
to get
easy
it
about this
perfect,
thing.
yeah. There's a lot of,
Yeah.
a lot of room for
Yeah.
challenge there. I think it's great. I think it's really good. It could revitalize things actually.
Well, if we talk about, certainly wanting to do everything we can to attract all the people that we can, to flying stunt and even flying old time and everything like that. But we don't need, if I can use a different metaphor, we don't need to throw anybody out of the lifeboat either, and we still have, we have a lot of older members right now who are at a crossroads is what they can and can't do and stuff like that, and have trouble with, if we can keep them around a little longer, to give them something new and challenging to do and stuff like that. I don't know. I
think
guess I'll have to wait and see. My vertigo keeps getting worse every year and everything like that. Maybe I'll be, I'll be flying these myself, completely. But so anyhow, that's what we're working on, and hopefully we can get some comments and do something with it. So
I think it's a good idea, Denny. I really do.
I think it's
Yeah,
exciting.
I think, what it comes, when you get something like this somewhere along the way, it ultimately comes down to publicizing it so people know that, what's expected, and then to start running it at contests and run it as an expectation. All right, we're going to be flying this different old time pattern. So if you bring your old time airplane, expect to do this. And
Do you have to
see
use
where
an
that
old time
goes.
plane for that?
Yes. This is a modification to the old time stunt pattern. So we would use only old time stunt planes for it. That's why the emphasis on the round maneuvers too, and those squares or triangles or anything like that, which are challenging with some of the old time airplanes. Some do a pretty good job, others not so much. So,
Yeah.
I
but
mean,
yeah,
this
we
would be
had the other
challenging even
pattern,
for a modern plane.
yeah, we did another pattern, another iteration for the modern pattern, and that one we put in some really nice challenging triangular loops and stuff like that will be that that are deceptively hard. So, but yeah, but this one here, we thought we needed something for the old, we needed for the people who fly old time stunt, we needed something that they could fly without having to go overhead. So that's it, Charles. That's all I really wanted to share. It's kind of a work in progress and probably have some more things going with it. I don't know exactly how we're going to go forward with it, but we'll see. Let's see if we can get it. If I can get some of the old times enthusiasts, if they're enthusiastic about trying this one, maybe we'll take it to the next level. So
Right. Maybe send that to Bart Kaplinski as well.
okay, I hadn't thought of that. So
Let me interrupt for a minute here. Jim Hoffman has some things he'd like to share with us. Let me welcome Gary Sinclair. Thank you. I'm glad you finally came in.
Yeah, fine.
And John Miller, thank you for coming in, John. Appreciate it, Big John. And Howard Rush, thank you for coming in. I did get your text earlier, and I emailed you earlier. And then Robert, I emailed you as well. Thank you for coming in, Bob Whitley. Thank you very much. And take it away, Jim Hoffman.
So last time I was on the chat, I mentioned I'd inherited a ringmaster that needed a push rod control horn clevis update. So I completed that, and it reminded me of a technique I use that might be of interest. So I'm going to try to use my limited computer skills to share some photos.
All right.
On an iPad. So let's see if I can do that.
All right.
All right. Can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Trying to share. How do you share your screen on an iPad? I see share content.
I think Joe can maybe tell you how to do that, Joe. Have you done that, Joe?
No, I don't have any idea.
Okay. Is Colleen available?
No, she's back as Maggie making food for tomorrow. Share content. Oh, screen. You share screen, photos, iCloud, Drive Drop. Huh.
Am I doing it?
No, not yet.
All right. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's not easy. I understand. I know
can
Mike
do it on a computer.
Mike Long, if you're listening, if you get a chance, if you have a moment, maybe you can come in and show us how to do it. I know you can do it.
On an iPad.
Yeah, he can do it on an iPad. Sometimes he has to use an iPad.
But basically the challenge is to use a Central Hobbies threaded fitting that slides into a carbon push rod. I think are most of you familiar with those things?
Yeah.
The clever little fitting that's got barbs on the fitting that goes into the push rod, and then the other side has male threads for a clevis. Well, the barb fitting is 1/8 inch OD. So you need a carbon push rod that's 1/8 inch ID. That's pretty standard. But you want to mate that to a piece of music wire that's, say, something smaller, like 3/32 ID. So you've got some slop in there. So a technique I've used for many, many years, and I have photos, but I just can't share them, is you take that push rod and just take some copper wire and wrap a spiral around it and then hit that with solder. And so then you have enlarged the diameter of the 3/32 music wire, size the copper wire so that you have a nice slip fit. And if you don't have a slip fit, you do a little sanding until you do. And so now you've got something that you could slide the carbon tube over that's essentially line to line. Then you just hit that all with JB Weld and put it together and you're done. So that's what I did. And I have some photos, but I couldn't share them. So I've been using that technique for many, many years on bigger airplanes. So my ringmaster gets that too.
Oh, very good. I can see how you could do that. So you you're building up the ID of the wire with the copper, right? And you just
Yeah.
solder the copper onto the wire, and then it can slide into the carbon fiber tube, and it's a slip fit or friction fit, right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, I
Yeah,
got you.
Jim, I've done the same thing with my push rods. And one additional thing I do is I put a piece of aluminum tubing over it on the
I do that
outside
too.
of it.
Yep, absolutely. I do that too.
A super simple way of doing something like that, it's if you use a 3mm ID carbon fiber tube with a 5mm OD carbon fiber tube, 3 to 5, and the 3mm almost fits the 440 threads perfectly. So you can just glue a 440 thread inside of the carbon fiber tube with JB weld and stuff like that, and you're done with some kind of a. But I don't know what termination you use. If you use like a solid wire, with an L shape and some kind of a solder thing on it, it's one thing. I like to use the bowlings. So
Yeah, I do very similar, but I take a 3mm diameter bolt because I use the 3mm RC car ball joints, and I wrap them with thin copper wire too, and literally thread it into the push rod, and with JB weld, and then the aluminum tube over, and it seems to be a very durable and user-friendly setup.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question for you guys. I've done this, and every time I do it, it seems I'm not entirely sure I did it right. What's your best way for getting JB weld inside the push rod, inside the tube?
What I do first, I use like a 440 threaded tap, right? To put some grooves in it to make sure they're right. I clean it up. I make sure I clean it up, take all the dust out of there. And then I put the JB weld inside the tube, inside the carbon fiber tube, and I smoosh it around to make sure it gets in all those crevices and kind of like a thin film on the edge and then I put JB weld on my maybe at the end of the rod, or maybe like coat the rod as well, the threaded rod, which is a 440 threaded rod, and just screw it in. And after I screw it in, I take some unidirectional carbon on the outside and wrap it around so it doesn't split open. That seems to be fun.
I do it kind of similar, but I use a small diameter needle file, round needle file, and roughen it up on the inside.
Yes.
Yeah, but how do you actually get the epoxy, the JB weld inside the tube? Do you like put it on a tube and stick it in there? How do you?
You could put
What
a
I'm
thin
afraid
piece
of
of
is that,
wire.
I try putting it on the wire or something like that, and it's like you start sliding it in, it just it all wipes off the wire and stuff.
Yeah, you have to put like a thinner layer on the wire, on a much smaller wire, right? Like a 1/16 wire, which is half of the diameter. And
What Jim just described, a 3/32 wire needs a little bit. 3/32 wire with the copper on it would need a little bit less. But even then, it needs something in there, and you have to have a way to get the glue inside. And the best thing I've seen is I've used like a piece of 1/32 music wire. Get get a little bead of glue on that and slide that in, wipe it around, and do that several times and stuff. You get sort of a buildup in there, but
yes,
I think that's
that's about the only way I've had that I felt had any confidence in it all. So
I've never done
same
it.
idea, Dennis. Yeah, I use the same idea that you said, Dennis, except for I use a 1/16 wire to get even more clearance between the wires, so I can put more glue in there. So I make sure to smoosh the glue in there and get nice coating.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
I'm sorry, Jim, you said something else then?
I've not done it, but heating epoxy drops the viscosity a lot.
That's a great idea.
That is an attack. Frankly, I've never worried about it. I just do what you do. I shove it in there with a smaller wire, and I rely on those ridges on the male part going in to do the rest. And so far, so good.
Yeah. I've always been a little nervous about heating the epoxy because yes, it flows better, but it also sets faster, and
Yeah, and runs
So,
away too, runs down the tube.
yeah, well,
Another
like, yeah,
step
you
I
don't know
do
where it's gonna
is
run, so.
another
It's
step
just a
I do
ring
is make
nest.
sure that I wipe everything with lacquer thinner so that there's no contaminants on any of the surfaces.
That
And then
too.
for getting the JB weld in, I just take a coffee stir stick and just take a gob on the end of it and shove it in and just keep doing it till I figure, well, that's enough. Put some on the bolt, which has the spiral thread copper on it too, and just twist it in. And we usually see some goop out the end, which means obviously I've got good penetration of it. And that
Do the same thing with
seems to
small
work.
screwdriver. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I just have a thought. How
I
about
use a
that
very
small monojet syringe when it has a little curve?
Mm-hmm.
A small monojet syringe, you might be able to use that.
I
That
don't
would be
think you
good.
can get JB weld through it.
Here's another idea. Make a balsa plug and shove it inside the tube and make like a bottom, like a cork, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now as you build up the glue inside and you screw it in, you can see it oozing out.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much when I know, like, hey, it's filled in. Or another thing I do, I might screw it in, screw it back out, put some more glue, screw it in, screw it back out, put a little bit more glue on the threads, screw it back in, and at that point I'm pretty sure I have good coverage.
And don't be chintzy about how far you put it in. Make sure you prepare the end that you've got a decent length to it for surface area.
Half an inch to 3/4 of an inch is more than enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Howard, are you okay? Are you just like annoyed at our suggestions or what?
No, I'm a little drowsy.
Okay. I know you've been you know what, since I talking to you now, let me just ask you, how was your trip to Europe and the contests and everything?
It was contests were fun. I got a first, second, third, and a fourth in inverse order of the importance of the contest. The first, then it was actually a judge training session.
What kind of awards or plaques do they give out in Europe? I've never seen a European contest.
The Coppa di Oro, which I think is Italian for Gold Cup. I didn't win a prize there, but I did in the British contest. Got third place, which was a Coppa di Plastic. And I got it's for the other one, the Ronnieberg Cup, which was actually a judge training thing. There wasn't an actual cup; it was just a certificate of medal.
Do you have the cup handy?
No, I don't, and it's just like a plastic bowling trophy. It's nothing.
All right.
But
you got a second place in the flying, didn't you, Howard?
Yes, and let's see, that was the actual F2B contest in Germany. And yeah, I came in ahead of ahead of two members of the German team, so that was pretty good.
Very good.
Outstanding.
You're talking about vertigo and stuff. Henk de Jong was there, and the old days will remember him. He's a Dutch stunt flyer, and he's always the world champs. And he was there flying carrier because he gets vertigo flying stunt, so he hasn't flown stunt. But he said he felt the sirens calling him because the field was beautiful and he wanted to fly stunt. Well, he'd given the CD of the German contest some years earlier, an airplane he flew in 1992. So the CD lent Hank his own airplane to fly stunt, and Hank had worked out choreography, he called it, to enable him to do the reverse wing over without getting dizzy. and it worked out for him. And he had a couple 3-inch pullouts, but after that, he was able to do the reverse wing over again with his choreography. So perhaps choreography is an alternative to maneuver.
It is. Yeah, I've been flying with, Wes has been battling vertigo for the last several years and stuff. And he's really, I mean, he works his butt off and everything like that. But, there's certain things he does, he gets through it. Right. He really can't fly. His overhead 8 is flown at about 60 degrees off the ground, and his wing over is usually down in front a little and stuff like it. He does a terrific job with all the 45-degree maneuvers. He'll kick your butt on those, but it's the other ones just wipe him out. He's found a way to get through them, but like you say, it's a choreography as much as anything. So unfortunately, Wes has he's giving his airplanes away right now. He's had other issues going on and stuff. His stamina isn't there or anything like that. So, but that's but he was kind of the inspiration for the whole thing to try to do something that to help him out. So.
Well, Howard, I sure appreciate your background on these events, because it sure puts more of a perspective on all the wonderful photos that you put on our site.
Yeah, you really raised the bar for traveling long distance to stunt contests.
Oh, yeah,
yeah, really.
My wife is the Facebook person, so she's been posting to the Alberta side, I think.
I suggest
a lot of wonderful pictures. If you guys want to look into our site, there's just a huge amount of absolutely wonderful pictures of the contest that Howard and his wife posted.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen him, so I guess I ought to look at him.
So, Jim, nobody can complain about the long trip to Tucson anymore, can they?
No. And I suggested a trip to Italy, like Howard did to my wife, and that got shot down pretty quick. She likes Italy, but the airplane contest portion of it.
You want to do what?
I preferred the airplane contest to the rest of Italy.
The coffee shops are good.
Anyway.
Wasn't you posting that you were checked in on the old Super Tiger factory?
Yeah, I went to the old Super Tiger factory.
Really? Oh, that's neat.
It's not there, but
I got a picture. Wow.
Wasn't it a beware of dog sign or something that shied you off?
Yes, they have a junkyard dog there at the former Super Tiger factory.
Wow. I haven't given Joe Gilbert a chance to tell him what's he been up to, and then his guest John Blanchard, I think it was.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's been happening with you, Joe and John?
Well, this is our weekend for our stunt contest. John and Maggie came Tuesday. We've been flying and pedaling and working on stuff every day. Then Brent Rahilio's here, Dale and Linda, John, Stella, Sparky and Steve, Tribble, Kevin and Mark Lumens is here.
Oh, cool.
We got a few. Just flying. Nobody's hit the ground yet this week. That's a good thing.
Yeah, that is.
Nice.
So is it true that when it's your turn to fly, the winds calm down, and after your flight, the winds go back up?
It hasn't worked that way yet.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not an official flight yet, so.
I won't fly my own contest, but I'll be.
Oh, okay.
I don't fly my own contest. I don't want to take their trophies from nobody.
That's right.
I agree, Joe. Well, good job. I don't fly my own contests either.
I tried to get John to fly one of my profiles tomorrow, but he doesn't think he's going to do it.
I don't go to my own contests.
How did Tim Just do? Did he have a good trip?
He placed one notch below me in the 2 Italian contests. Then he went home to go back to work.
He went home after 2 contests. Oh,
Yeah.
mercy. What day are you arriving in Houston?
To be determined. I think Wednesday.
Us too, I think. That's when I want to get there. We'll see.
Yeah.
When's Tim coming down, you know?
When who?
Tim.
Oh, I think he's still working. He's a busy boy lately. Although he's talking about sending his axioma ahead with David or something. And
Okay, they got a plan.
yeah.
So we don't have much going on. We're just flying airplanes and having fun.
We're debating flying versus driving.
I'm driving,
Yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
it's a 3-day drive for you.
Maybe 4, probably 4.
Before, I love it.
Well, there's charging involved, so it
I
takes.
Jim should come down too.
Jim who?
Hoffman.
Oh, Jim Hoffman. Yeah.
I'm working on getting to Golden State, which is a
I-
challenge.
I thought you were talking about Jim Aaron, to whom I spoke today about going to the team trials, and he said he needs to learn to fly stunt first.
He's done it for 50 years.
He's forgotten to fly stunt. How to fly stunt, he says.
It's like riding a bicycle, though.
Well, he forgot how to ride, I guess.
Yeah, you just need the baseball cards and the spokes.
Don Cranfield
Oh,
says,
we're electric now. Those noises are behind us.
Howard, are you going to come to Golden State?
You betcha.
All right. Me too.
It's handier now. It's in Sacramento.
Yeah, it's a little less handy for me.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Good.
I've been
Good.
emailing with Alan. I think Alan is not coming.
I thought of you when we were in Germany. I heard you use the term schmutz.
Schmutz, certainly.
And I was shopping in a hardware store there for airplane cleaning materials in the car chemicals section. And the descriptions were in German, so I couldn't read them. But one of the cleaners said it was effective on schmutz.
Very good.
Yeah. I didn't get it.
didn't buy it.
I have a question on the chat box for Bob Whitley. This is from Marcel Legrand. He says, "Hi, Bob. Do you have a twin who is a movie star?"
Nope. However, a little bit off color. Back in the 1970s, when I was in the Army, some of the guys went to a porno flick and they come back and they said there was a guy just looked just like me in it.
Wow. Well, that's
So nope, I have
comment
to.
for the after party.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
Yeah, you can share it with the after party. That's funny.
Perhaps you just couldn't remember, Bob.
And
Hey, I
then
see you've
Bob,
got
are you gonna be at the team trials?
I won't be there. Ken and Bruce are going. I imagine Chris is.
Okay.
Larry, of course,
Yeah.
will be there because he's hosting it.
Okay.
I'm going to be suffering through the zone meeting.
Oh, one of those
For
deals,
Mac.
eh? Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting the way better end of the deal. And Paul's sneaking out of the zone meeting and ducking down to the States somewhere for a speed contest, part of the World Cup or something, I think.
There you go.
But so I guess I'll be flying the control line flag in amongst the zombies.
There you go. All right.
Hey, Lenny,
Yes.
I've got a new favorite stalker now.
what is that?
That Stalker 66. What a beast.
Oh, yeah. Good
What
motor.
a beast. That thing,
Yeah.
it, sweet running. Oh my goodness. More
yes.
power than it should have.
Oh, yeah. My buddy has one on a T-Rex. It runs just sweet.
I could see how it would. I mean, I was turning
yeah.
like 9600 RPM, something in that area. And it would turn in that a 12.6 prop, just like it wasn't anything, you know. Probably could go.
It'll easily turn a 13-inch prop, that engine.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh yeah, no problem with
Lighter
the
than
13.
the Super Tiger 60, John, or just a little bit heavier?
I think it's a little lighter.
Wow.
14 ounces.
Yeah,
14 ounces. We
that's
weigh
a nice.
I haven't weighed mine, so I couldn't tell you for sure.
Yeah, 14.2, I think, ounces with the muffler.
With the muffler?
Beautiful motor, those
Oh,
66.
it is. You know, previous to that, I really liked the Stalker 51. I still really like the 51, but that 66, I have an 81, or I had an 81, and that thing was a beast as well, but I don't have that anymore. Somebody got it away from me.
Speaking of the Super Tiger 60, I got an email from Brian Gardner the other day that last week, he's just about ready to ship the cylinder piston kits. And so I've got 3 of them on order.
Nice. Good for you.
Wow.
What do you gain on weight? What do you lose? You lose an ounce on that deal?
On the Gardner thing?
Yeah. Will you lose an ounce when it's all said and done?
I don't think you lose anything. I haven't used the 60 kits, but I've got 2 of the 36X ones and installed one, and really happy with it.
But there's no weight.
I don't think so, because you know your cylinder liner is the same dimensions.
Yeah, but it's brass instead of steel.
Yeah, and you
the
might lose a bit on the
Yeah.
conrods.
Piston, you'd think you'd lose.
Could be. I'll find out. I'll do a before and after weighing.
Be interesting.
Are we getting a screen share, or
We're
Somebody
close to having
sharing?
a picture here.
I don't know.
See, the
who's-
one who should know about the weight thing on the Brian Gardner's with the Super Tiger 60s would be Sparky, because he's done several of them.
Yeah.
Well, Jim
I'm
is
gonna
coming.
go, guys. I got a contest tomorrow. We'll see
All
you
right,
later.
thanks for coming in, Lynn. I
See you, Lynn.
appreciate it.
Yeah, you
See you,
bet.
Lynn.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Lynn.
Take
See
care,
ya.
Lynn.
Good night, guys.
What's showing up, Jim Hoffman, is a blank white screen.
All right, I'm sorry. I gotta go. I'm failing at Internet 101 here.
No
He's
problem.
showing us a snowstorm.
That's good. That's good. All right, hey, thanks, Jim, for coming in. Appreciate it.
You gotta stop sharing. Give it the screen back.
I can take it over if there we
There
go.
we go.
Thank you. He did it. So let me see here. And Gary, how you doing, Gary?
Pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming. I know you
Yeah.
couldn't find the I couldn't post the link because the Stunt Hangar was down.
Yeah.
So
And my machine's slow, and I just
yeah, but I'm glad you finally made it in. Thank you very much. And then John Miller, I understand you've been running your Stalker at 66, and is that for the SV11?
Yep, that's the
Ooh.
one.
Ooh,
And
nice.
I've got to raise the tank up, which means I got to turn the uniform down a little bit.
So I remember, I think it was last week or some other time we was talking, I think, to Caffeine, and you was talking about how you adjust the tank height, before you can fly it.
Yeah.
And does that end up being a close proximity, or is that actually when you get all said and done, that actually is the tank height?
Well, if you're lucky, but I look at it as a close proximity. I get the plane running, get it warmed up and that, then I turn it upside down and listen to it. And if it drops RPM, then I've got to raise, or I've got to change the uniflow height. So if I change it to where it's running the same right side up and upside down. I should be pretty close then when I get out there, you know, and actually flying.
Real close.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
remember,
I tell you what, I was amazed. I put the nose of that thing up, or that thing wanted to pull that plane out of my hands.
wow.
It was immediate 4-2 brake.
I know, Charles, for your info, the Stunt Hangar site is up, and that's how I linked in.
Oh, thank you very much, Bob.
That's
Yeah.
how I linked in.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's how I finally got in.
Okay. I saw your message, Gary, about the
Yeah.
password, and I was trying to find it, but I was trying to keep an eye on the show as well as this kind of a lot going on.
Bob, have you got a painting or the on the back wall behind you of the Mark 9? I think it's the same one that I have.
You talking about Spitfire?
Yeah, it's a haunting
Yeah,
picture.
that's
isn't it?
Sailor Milan's. Everybody's got one of them.
Yeah, beautiful picture.
That is a
And
pretty
the prop
picture.
above it is off an Avro Anson Mark I from a Cheetah engine.
Oh, for
And
goodness
hanging
sake.
down from that off a 50 cal casing is a 25-pound practice bomb from 418 Squadron B-25s.
Defused, I
And then
presume.
sort of off to the right there, all those casings are various ones that I've fired through the years. And then my shell casing from my 105 is on a different shelf.
That Anson, we had them in the New Zealand Air Force, those Ansons. So,
Yeah, most of ours were the Mark V's with the Jacobs engines, but it's nice. It was nice to score this prop from an old friend who's dead now, but he flew Ferry Command during the war.
they were like flying Jersey cows, weren't they?
Yeah, we have one in the museum here, but it's not flyable, just restored to static.
We got one flyable, I think, still down Blenheim. Yeah, the nice planes. Oh yeah, anyway, no, I just wanted to meet. I thought it was the same picture. It's very nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
see
practically
you back,
everybody
by the way.
that's involved with aviation has that print.
Yeah. You keeping well?
I'm keeping very well. It's just been busy as heck, so I haven't been on for, 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Between work and stuff around home and rebuilding a car that I picked up, so it's been a bit hectic.
If I ask what sort of car it is, Charles might get out, Mr.
Yeah, I will definitely.
He's got it ready. He's got it on the ready, John.
He's got it ready.
Don't even go there.
Have you been in the
All I'll
new
tell you
movie,
is
Charles?
it's built in Mexico by the Huns.
Anyways, I got a message in the chat box from Brent Williams. It says, "Howdy, guys. Howdy, Brent. Thanks for getting back to me and coming in. I appreciate it.
I have some Canadian content for you if you're interested.
I am very interested.
Well, I was at this contest in Germany and the CD was flying, Dietmar Morbitzer. And I noticed when he did wingovers and stuff, in the bottom of his airplane, I thought it said MAC, M-A-A-C. So I investigated, and he was flying a reflagged Constantine airplane.
Oh, wow.
And he put Germany over where it used to say Canada and so on. But yeah, it was an old Constantine airplane.
Well, nowadays we wouldn't be too upset if he put something over Mac.
He didn't put anything over Mac.
Yeah. No doubt.
It was on the bottom, so he figured nobody'd see it. But
Yeah, there's no Mac decals going on any of my new airplanes, and I'm contemplating putting something over top of them on my old ones.
I got a message from Terry Mitchell. Terry, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to skip over what you wrote. Accidental. Let me see if I can just find it.
Me too.
Let me see.
We got to get up early. We're going.
All right. Hey, thanks,
Hey,
Joe,
Joe.
for coming in. I appreciate it.
See y'all.
Good luck, Joe. Good luck,
thank
John.
you.
Take care, Joe.
Actually, Charles, I think I'll hit the road too. We've got family coming soon, so
All righty. All right. Thanks for
Okay.
coming in, Jonathan.
See you, Jonathan.
Hey,
You got
Terry,
Catch you next time, guys.
Terry Mitchell.
Yeah.
I'm looking over the chat, and I did say earlier what you said earlier. I said, let me just say it again. Like sent, great to see you, Charles. Let everyone know that I said that on the show that I bought the glow plugs from A-Man Hobbies. It was actually a Radical RC, $4 a plug for fireballs. I said that earlier, probably over an hour ago. I don't know what other, I don't see anything else, Terry, besides that. And I did say that earlier. Anyways, you want to watch the replay? You can see that I did say that earlier.
Where's Terry live now?
Terry Mitchell, where do you live, Terry Mitchell?
See what I did.
Uh-oh, what'd you do?
Oh,
That's why I was late getting here. I was at the emergency room.
I'm
They-
glad you made it out and you're here.
Yeah, they screwed up my meds so bad. There's one med I have to take, and if I don't, I go into withdrawal really bad, and I was in bad shape.
Oh, boy.
So we went over there. I got there about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I just got out of there about 8:30. So otherwise, I'd been in here earlier.
That's
No
one
problem.
expensive bracelet.
That was a very expensive bracelet. Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're here, John.
I am too.
Well, I went flying today. I flew my SV11, my electric SV11. It's the only SV11 I have. But put up 5 flights. And today just was a day that, I don't know if you ever have those days where you're just not flying that good. I mean,
Yeah.
you just know that you're not flying that good and you're trying. And you're like, I just did not have a very good flying. I didn't crash the plane or anything, but I just, the plane was, I don't know if it was me or the plane. I mean, there was no wind. I mean, so very little wind that we have a flag and the flag was just, hanging straight down. No, so that might have
Pointed
been,
down. Yeah.
that might have been part of it, but now also where I'm flying at, Joe Mott and I, we call it the Thunderdome because it's a softball baseball diamond and it does not have a pitcher's mount. So the infield is all dirt. It's clay actually. And so it enables me to practice my takeoffs and landings. And in the outfield, there's a yellow corrugated material that's on the outfield fence that's at 6 feet. And inside is a little bit of a blue color about 6 feet. It ends right behind home base. I need to put something so I can have 360 degrees view of 6 feet. But I have a much better idea of how bad I'm flying because of the Thunderdome. It just really makes things very glaring. Where I used to fly in the open field where there's no references and you could walk away thinking, oh, it was a pretty good flight, but with this Thunderdome, it's glaring. And so I'm hoping that it's going to create preparation that I've never had before coming in Las Vegas. So.
Yeah, I was hoping to get in a flight today too, but on a full-size plane, Fleet Canuck down in Lacombe, about 80 miles away. But we had winds gusting to 28 knots and it'd be a test flight followed by a short ferry flight back up here. I thought, nah, better day would be.
Yeah, especially when you can lose your life, so. Unlike when it's a bad weather day here flying my small airplanes, there's no life at stake. But yeah. Looks like Caffeine is making his way in here. And hopefully he's made some beautiful progress, hopefully with his vector, I hope.
Hi.
Hi, Caffeine. How are you doing?
Caffeine.
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good, good. Well, I have some things to share.
All right.
Well, last weekend I went to the field and I flew my Seaback, and then I tried to fly with my own schedule. I positioned myself to be in, yeah, just pretend I was at a competition
Oh, good.
and
Good.
try to do the maneuvers like you. Yeah, I made my own schedule because I haven't flown a complete pattern yet, but I I was trying to do my own schedule, and it was fun. But sometimes I could feel the I was kind of nervous as well because okay, after this I had to do this and then do this, and then yeah, it's kind of fun but nervous at the same time. But uh I'm going to do that for yeah, in the future, just to practice and to have better progress in flying. And yeah, you know
That's a
and
good
as
idea.
for and for the factor, yeah, I actually uh um realigning the wing and the stab, making sure it's all straight and level and square to the flat surface, so it's everything square, flat, and straight and level. So hopefully it will fly better after this realignment. But I can uh next week, I can fly next week, not this weekend.
So how are you doing the realignment with heat, or actually are you actually cutting into the vector to fix the misalignments? How are you doing that?
For the stab, I did recutting, but for the wing, I hit it, steam it.
Oh, good, good.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Caffeine, a
Yeah,
while
it's
back, I've
it
been out
now.
of touch. Sorry.
What?
You'd broken the nose off a plane or something in a profile, I think, and we're rebuilding it. How did that turn out?
It's another plane that you were talking. It was I think you what you what you meant is my cardinal. It's
Yeah.
all good now, but still, for the cardinal, I still have to find the perfect balance between the prop and the needle setting.
Yeah, because I know that you'd had some
For
concerns about the way it had broken
the
off.
factor and my CBEC one is I have figured it out. Planes for the cardinal, I'm still figuring out.
One comment I have, Caffeine, is one thing good about having a
Hello?
schedule is that you eliminate the brain farts, because having something that you stick to, a regiment, that way you kind of, between that and having good hardware and good engine runs, it really minimizes crashes. So that's a good thing. But you can kind of lull yourself to sleep in that you get comfortable and complacent, but so you want to try to migrate toward the full pattern, because it's important to progress. And I know it's hard when you don't have a contest. The contest will kind of force your hand to make you commit to learn that maneuver, because when you don't have a contest, you can go, next flight, next flight, next flight, next flight.
Yeah,
and it's like next session, okay, next month. And and sometimes people never progress, but at least having a schedule, that's a good idea. Let me just say hello to John Skukulek. And John, it's been a while. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate it.
Yeah, nice to see everybody. I don't know if we still have Denny or not. There was something I wanted to tell Denny, but
he's here. Wake
I
up,
think he's
Denny.
asleep.
Well, I don't know if he is.
Hey, Denny. Hey, Denny, wake
Yeah,
up, man.
yeah, I'm here. I'm here.
All right.
I'm here.
Sorry for waking you up, Danny.
No,
But
I'm listening.
I wanted to tell you
I was just
something.
resting my eyes. So
I understand.
Yeah.
I've been flying about a 43 ounce Nobler with a 46 LA and trying to get it dialed in. And I was flying it on 60-foot steel lines, 15 thousandths. And then 61, I went to 61 feet, but those were the longest lines I had. And I had bought some Fin 40 fishing line. And I had 45-pound and 65-pound and 85-pound. So I thought I'd be conservative the first time I use it on a bigger airplane. It's been great on half A's. I've used it a lot there. But so I used the 65-pound and made some 62-foot lines to get that extra foot, and they worked beautifully, just beautifully. One thing I didn't do though is I didn't stretch them. It was getting dark. I was out of time, and I was dying to try this, so I flew it. I rolled the dice and I flew it. How much would you stretch 65-pound lines?
stretch it to always stretch it to half the rating. So 65-pound line, I pull it at 32 pounds and hold it for I usually count to 100, maybe 120 if it's not too hot outside. But,
Each line individually or combined?
yeah, each line. Actually, I
Okay.
tie the lines end for end, so I pull them both at the same time.
Okay, yeah. All right,
So that way the lines see exactly the same load.
Okay. I'll have to do that tomorrow. But did I make the right choice between the 45-pound and the 65-pound?
Yeah, I think so. I think the 45 would have been a little light. I've been a little shy about using the 40G because I was worried about stretching. So I'm happy to hear that you were successful on that. I've been
Yeah, it
using
wasn't windy.
that on a vector size airplane. I've been using 65-pound line. Most recently the Finn's Spin 5, which is the same size as Max Quattro, but it's a 5-strand line, so it's a little rounder. I really like the way that flies.
Okay.
But
All right.
I don't know. I just keep going around. Just recently here, I got discovered their regular old Wind Tamer line, which is their basic, their most basic line. It's got some 100-pound or something, and that stuff is the stiffest line I've ever seen as far as stretch. It doesn't have any. I'm not sure it's not. I'm not sure if it isn't stiffer than a steel line. So just really doesn't seem to stretch at all, and so I'm real anxious to get some flight time on that. So
even though it's stiff, do you feel like it's got all of
well, by
the?
stiff I mean it doesn't have any stretch to it.
So the other characteristics are
Yeah,
still
they're all
favorable.
typical of what you see with
Yeah,
Spectra.
I
They're
see.
not, they don't kink or anything like that. They're very slippery.
Yeah.
They all seem to be pretty good that way.
Okay. Well, good. I was excited to tell you that I had my first experience with something like that, and it was
Well, you
really
made them
nice.
up and you tied them and everything. Way to go. So
Yeah, the double surgeon knot, I think, which
yeah, the modified surgeon knot with the doubled line. Yep.
yeah. Next, I got to start using those rings that you use. I bought some, but I've got to go back and review how you tie those on.
Yeah, it's pretty simple to do. Take you about 5 minutes. So
Yeah.
yeah, I even managed to drop one of the rings in the grass and I found it. So
Well, I came up with a solution for the problem I've had for years of dropping things in the grass and in the carpet, tiny things. I just bought a giant magnet.
Mhm.
Yeah, I run that across the general area where I dropped it, and now I always find it.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually have a set of magnets from a used up outrunner motor. But yeah, same thing. I knew it had when I dropped it outside, I actually found it the next day. I knew the general I knew the approximate location went over it with a magnet. I found it and, immediately. So,
Speaking of magnets, I stumbled upon something for retrieval. You know those telescoping antenna type magnets?
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Well, the magnet on them really isn't all that great.
Right.
So what I did was I took one of those rare earth magnets and I just stuck it on the magnet. Boy, do I have power with it now, and it doesn't come off because it's two magnets
idea.
together.
yeah, that's great.
Great idea.
That's great.
What do you do for aluminum? Because I sometimes lose aluminum washers, for the prop.
I buy another one.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Okay, what you
Well,
do,
aluminum prop
Charles,
washer is
is
pretty easy to find. So
I learned this working on my truck with these little micro clips that they're a pain in the butt for joining the cables on a GM. Before I went out, after I'd lost one and had to mail order 10 of them from Amazon, I took and spray painted them bright fluorescent pink.
Oh,
And then if I lost one, I'd find it.
good idea.
Maybe you might want to paint
Yeah,
your
that is
washers pink.
There you go.
Very good.
Yeah.
By the way, we was talking about something. It's like a washer, I think, and I ordered them off of Scheiderman. Remember that thing we was talking about? I think it was.
Oh yeah, with the recessed nut
Yeah, that was
into the washer.
that
Yeah,
was
those are great.
Yeah, it's like a washer with a nut on it for your prop. It's all together. It's really neat.
It lets you get away with thicker props or spinners, plates and whatnot, and still have full thread retention. And some of the engines, like some of my old Fox 35s, they've got shorter shafts on them, and the threaded portion, and you just can't get away with anything but just a plain prop. But with those, you can they kind of recess back into the prop. You have to or into the washer itself, I should say. So you get full thread contact. They're really nice units to use.
Yeah.
And for an Enya of mine, I needed one, and I couldn't get one for that. So Paul just chucked up a piece of bar stock and the thread on his lathe and cut it down and bored out a washer and for the prop washer, and that worked out great on an Enya 15 of mine.
Very good. I have a message from I'm not sure if this is Stephen or Ruben, but the handle is McBride001, and he's a member of our YouTube channel. I believe it's Ruben. He says, Ruben and Stephen going to Golden State. Well, that's great. I wish I was going to Golden State. I'm committed to your contest, and at this time I can't afford to go do both, but I would love to go to Golden State. So that's good news. Wish I was going to join you.
Well, I think I'm going to shut down. It's getting on here, and I've had a long day, and
No
it's really
problem.
nice chatting. It was so nice chatting with you this morning on the phone, Charles.
Oh, my pleasure. I mean, we got to talk more often. I tell you,
we do.
The one of the benefits of this show is I have so many friends now. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love it. So, anyways,
well, you're not allowed to go away. You're stuck with this for life.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I was prepared to email as many people as needed to get the show on the road. So I'm glad that we still had a show, even though Stunt Hangar was temporarily down. And if you want to help us out, go to Stunt Hangar and hit the 23 button, and that way you can donate. We've used up a 1 terabyte server of all the pictures and videos we have on Stunt Hangar and all the threads. So this is going to happen from time to time, and so please, really seriously, if you're watching this show now, I mean, we've been on the show now for, let me see, we've been on for 2 hours and 4 minutes live. If you're at the end of the show, you obviously enjoy this. So please, really consider, like Sparky said, $5. If everybody did $5 or $10 of the 350 people that actually use Stunt Hangar Forum, religiously, he would not have any problem getting the new storage, so please.
Does some of the money from Hangout filter down to the Stunt Hangar forum?
Well, I don't really know Sparky's business, but I know that Sparky uses a lot of it, and we get so little bit of the super chats. We do have some ongoing subscribers with the YouTube channel. I'm not sure what the number is. Again, I think he gets 40% of whatever is contributed, and I know that it's not enough. It's not. I don't even think it's even enough for the what Sparky pays me when he can. Sometimes he can't because there's just not enough coming in. So please do the super chats. Please do join the YouTube channel. I mean, there's no free lunch, here in America. There's no free lunch there in Canada either, right? Isn't that right? No free lunch there. And I should have asked Jonathan Carrodus, is there a free lunch in New Zealand? I suspect there's no free lunch anywhere.
No. Well, I don't feel bad at all. It's just automatic off my MasterCard. I pay the $15 a month for Stunt Hangar Hangout.
Well, thank you. You're one of our big tippers, I think. Yeah, that's what he calls it. There's actually 3 tiers. The bottom tier, which is what I do the $4.99 a month. So I just want everyone to partner with me. Let's do that together. And then we have those who are able to do, there's a one in the middle, and it's the big tipper. Maybe the big tipper is more than 15, but I think that's the big tipper, but I could be mistaken. But anyways, I got some messages here from Pete Griswold. I don't think I've ever seen you in the chat. Well, thank you for coming. He says, I just came in, and he says, penny for your thoughts. And he says, yes, there is. I'm not sure. Let me see, is there anything below that? Peter, Pete, excuse me. I'm go ahead and type some more. I'm not really sure what you're getting at. Please forgive me. I'm not really sure if I'm catching on.
Anyway, I'm going to say goodnight, and hopefully I can get back to seeing you all more regularly.
Yeah, absolutely, me too. I'm going to bail before I fall asleep again.
All right, thank you, Dennis. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Dennis, for letting me know about the hangout, because you was the first one that made me aware of that. So,
okay,
thank you very much.
Well, see you Monday, guys.
See you guys later. All right, I'm going to end the live stream, and Peter, please get back to me quickly. I want to end the live stream, and I want to hear what you have to say. So please hit those keys. I'm curious. I imagine it was a penny for your thoughts, but I want to know what you're asking me about. I'll just give him a moment here to complete his thought. Yeah. All righty. Anyways, I'm just kind of waiting for him to finish his thought. In addition to flying my SV11, I had some damage on the SV11 that occurred to the plane over a year ago. Never really got around to fully finishing the repair because I wasn't sure if the plane was going to be worthwhile. Ended up being a pretty worthwhile plane, so I finally got around to fixing the repair. I don't have any pictures, but came out pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it, and I might even from time to time fix some of the things that makes the plane look like an ARF. There's some gaps that are visible, because of the way the ARF goes together. I might fill those gaps with superfill and make it so it doesn't look like it's an ARF, because it really is it's one of my best flying planes that I have right now. So I actually appreciate it. I'd like to build another one, but I don't know if I'll have the time. Peter, that's it. I'm gonna end the live stream. Anyways, thank you everybody for coming in. I appreciate you coming in very much. We're gonna do this again, hopefully Monday. Hopefully you have a chance to work in your shop or go do some flying and come back Monday and tell us all about it. So until then, fair winds, tight lines,